All right, all right. Hello, you're listening to the Lemon Drop Sessions, a podcast about food and music. I am here with Mike Brown. I'm really impressed with this guy's work. He has a new arcade lounge slash community center slash potential music venue studio. He just set up, it's called Third Space Studio or Third Space New Haven. Yeah, there you go. Third Space.
Yeah, our IG handle is Third Space New Haven.
Third Space New Haven, right. So it's in New Haven, Connecticut.
Mhm.
One of our big cities, I would say, in Connecticut is New Haven. There's a lot of music and fun music venues in New Haven. And that was a big inspiration for this podcast in the first place, really, to do a show that showcases food and music together, kind of musicians picking places to play, people to work with. All of those ideas were definitely at play, getting lemon drop sessions set up. And and as always, I think I've said this to guests before in the past, but it is just so it just makes me so happy to see people kind of in my age range, like millennial-ish, like really trying to beat the pavement and get something going, and I third space is a really great idea, and I've seen what these guys have to offer previously, and I'm very impressed. So yeah, nice job, Mike.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, on the note of like music and food and stuff like that, here in New Haven, we just had the Change in the Air Festival last Saturday, which was like one of our opening day. And so I popped down over there to take a look, hand out some flyers, and it was dope, man. There was a lot of acts, and it brought the community out. There wasn't a cop in sight. Everybody really just policed themselves, as you would expect.
Yeah,
People to behave, and it's like they were able to have a big festival, park in places that people don't normally park, but they weren't bothered. The city was like, "Go ahead, do what you got to do." They got the permits for that, and I think that was a really dope event. I would have liked to have stayed longer, but like I said, it was
yeah,
our opening day, so I had to
yeah.
kind of boogie woogie. But from what I was there, 15, 20 minutes I was there, it was a vibe, definitely. So
I
shout
actually
out to the
did.
Change in the Air people.
What? Yeah, what's the name again?
Change in the Air Festival.
Change in the Air or Changing the Air
Yeah, Change
Festival.
in the
Yeah.
Air Festival. Yeah, they just had that at Edgewood Park in New Haven, which is right around the corner from this lounge. So I took a walk over there and saw what they had. It was real nice. It was real nice.
Thanks, man. You brought your A game. I actually haven't been to New Haven for a minute.
You
Uh,
slacking, man. You got to get on it. Well,
we were talking back and forth about this. We're trying to get our video segments going for Lemon Drop sessions, and it looks like we might be able to visit you guys today with a camera and get a tour. So,
um,
uh, if you're
perfect.
still available for that,
Yeah,
uh,
6 to 11. So our hours, like today, we have Sundays, our family hours. We have 11 to 4, so people could come with their kids at a reduced rate. It's $10 per pair of adults, $2 per child. So if you got a family of four, two
wow,
adults and two kids, it's like $14. The idea isn't to break the bank when you're trying to have a nice Sunday playing games with your family, especially if you don't have those games at home. Even if you do, to get out and just be in the community and see what else is going on. We set a real nice vibe for that. But other than that, the adult hours are 6 to 11, Thursday through Sunday. So if you guys want to come down today, we'll be able to give you guys a real nice tour.
that'll be really fun, man. And I owe you a sandwich. So
You owe
so
me a
you
sandwich. Okay.
yeah
Oh,
you
I even got the place already picked up, right? Cat's Deli right up the road.
we're gonna order from Cat's Deli, and we're gonna get a video tour
Mm-hmm.
of Mike's new arcade lounge.
No, it's Sunday. They might not be open, so we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I know some places aren't open on Sunday. I
Mm.
also know, and this is a real big secret, I guess, but like parking is free on Sundays in New Haven, right? Is that still happening?
I mean, parking is free for me because I just won't pay the meter. But parking should be free on Sundays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So I know the hours during the week went from like 9 to 7 at some point in time, maybe a couple years ago. And I could be mistaken, but after Fridays and excuse me, Saturdays and Sundays, it should be free. So you should be all set.
That's great, man.
That
That's
really only counts
quality.
for that really only counts for downtown anyway. There's not really everywhere else in New Haven
Yeah, you're
aside from
right.
downtown. If there's any parking
You can just
stipulations,
park on the street. Yeah.
yeah, you can just park on the street, but just
Yeah.
watch the zoning for people who live there and need to have that parking because you'll get hit up. And don't be an asshole to the people who live there. But just pay attention to
Yeah.
that stuff. New Haven's kind of like reckless anyway with it. They'll just park wherever. You kind of got to get in where you fit in. Even here in this plaza, between the barbershop, the Puff City, and the pizza place, it
Wow.
sometimes can be a free for all for parking. But everybody's kind of just on their toes. Like, I'm gonna park here for a second. I'm out of here. Nobody's been violating too hard, I would say.
No, no, I don't. Oh, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I had this story you were talking about at the festival, like really people being able to police themselves and
Yeah,
manage themselves,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And like I really noticed that the last time I was in New Haven actually. Like I actually went to Cafe 9, which is a music venue out in New
I've been
Haven.
there. Yeah,
You know,
nice place.
literally Cafe 9 and the State House were such big inspirations in terms of getting this thing going.
Mhm.
Toad's Place, of
Yeah,
course, in New Haven as well.
yeah. I've seen a
You
gang of
know,
shows there. Yeah, I've been to Cafe Nine. I've seen a really dope band, fake band, Fernanda and the Ephemerals. They're really awesome. I
that's
saw
right.
them there one night. Yeah, they're awesome as hell.
Yeah, that
And
was
then I've
awesome.
been to Toad's Place like a gang of times. Like I've seen D12 there, Lauren Hill. Um,
I didn't know
I
that.
can't remember. I saw. Yeah, yeah. Yep. I said like I'll never go see Lauren Hill again just because it was like 3 hours till she showed up, and it's like, come on, buddy. Like you're really pushing it here
I actually,
for my patience.
I got to throw this in. I'm a fan of that singer songwriter Everlast. You know, he's sort of
Mhm.
I don't know, yeah, but
Eddie
um,
Ford. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, Whitey Ford, exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, I
I
was like,
just I just randomly was listening to the D12 Whitey Ford disc like a month ago for no reason at all. It
that
just
is
kind of
so funny. I
popped
can't
into
believe
my
we're
head.
talking about it. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
couple lyrics just jumped in my head, and I'm like, let me listen to the song and get it. I'm like, they're so stupid. Why did they even? It's fucking Whitey Ford, man. You gotta
yeah,
go
I
hard.
know. So I mean, I'm really because I'm a total Everlast fan, and his 2008 album, Love, War, and the Ghosts of Whitey Ford. It's a really slept on album. It's so good, you know.
Mhm.
So got to do a shout out there because I have the opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I've seen Everlast play live a couple times, and he takes a minute to get out on stage, like, and I think he's even referenced it in some of his songs, like just like don't worry about it. I'll show up.
Right.
Like,
People are really beating down the door to see that guy. You think he'd be the first person in line, but whatever. I mean,
well,
celebrities,
they
I guess.
throw. I mean, like, no, I understand, but he played Bowery Ballroom. That was pretty good. Um,
I saw the Roots there a dozen
oh
years
yeah,
ago. Yeah, it was a great it was a great that was my first time there. And so it's not a huge venue, it's pretty intimate. And I saw the Roots perform and they brought out Talib
are
Kweli and
are you
Pharoah
talking
Monch,
about Bowery Ballroom? Sorry.
Barry Borough,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
In New York City,
New York
Lower
City,
East
yeah.
Side.
It's like the meatpacking district or something like that.
Yeah, right. All right, cool.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's the same place, but it's not huge. It's pretty intimate. And so I saw the Roots perform. That was my first time. Like the girl I was dating at the time, like got me tickets to see it for my birthday, which was really dope. And like I said, they brought up Talib Kweli, Pharoah Monch, Chrisette Michelle was there. This is before she got canceled, whatever.
Yeah,
So and it was amazing. Like it was really great. And one day I'll tell you the story about how I was this close to getting one of Questlove's drumsticks from that event, but I'm not gonna get into that story. It upsets me
yeah,
still.
yeah. I understand that actually. Just like, you know what? I could have got one of the drumsticks.
Right.
Let's leave it at that. Yeah, I understand that
Yeah, I'll just
totally.
leave it there. I'll tell you about it another time.
I'm excited, man. I didn't know if this was all going to come through that like we'd get to do the podcast interview and also that we'd be able to get out to New Haven today.
Mhm.
We're doing this recording kind of early. It's early afternoon. The heat has finally broken. It's raining on and off like crazy. Is it that way for you too in New
It's,
Haven?
it's overcast. It's cool. It's probably about, I can tell you right now, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 76% humidity. These are handy. Clutch.
That is
For my
clutch.
yeah, for my growing purposes. So I just know, aside from looking at my phone.
That's like
But
better than a Pokédex right there.
yeah, well, it's so funny that you say that. The wife and I have been, walking around, just getting our steps in, getting some exercise, going to the store, just
Uh-huh.
hey, let's go to the store today. And
You
as we're
playing that
going
Pokemon
around,
Go?
huh?
You playing that Pokemon Go?
Well, not even I when it was very popular, yes, but not so much
I
lately. But
understand, yeah.
our phones now, our regular phones with Google search, right? So it's like we're walking by and we're looking at different vegetation and different trees that are growing that we might have not have noticed before, or mushrooms, fungus, and we're like, what's that? And you just put your phone on it and your phone will, pretty much tell you what it is. And
Yeah.
it was like Pokedex right here. And it's like, this is great. So yeah, I've identified different all kinds of different stuff that's on my street that I'm like, I think this is this, but is it? And then it's like, no, it's not. You're an idiot. It's this. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, I didn't even realize that I had a Pokedex on my phone the whole damn time. Um, which is pretty dope. I mean, on the low, if they just marketed it as a Pokedex, I think Google would probably sell out more phones even. This
Oh,
phone's also a Pokedex.
that's a Google phone.
No, no, no. I have an Android, but I'm saying just Google itself.
Oh yeah,
Um, just Google
absolutely.
itself. Just like my phone, your phone is now Pokedex Android users, and people would go ape shit. So I mean, it is, but maybe if they said it, I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I'm on board, dude. I think you're totally right. I mean,
yeah.
heck
I'm
yeah.
just finding things to like. What is this? Like, it's a piece of wood. Yeah, but what kind of wood? You like, is this
Right,
pine? Is this oak?
right,
Like, what is this?
right. I
Colors and
like
shit.
you know, yeah, I have thoughts about Google for sure. I mean, I'm definitely most comfortable kind of in terms of my podcast stuff, you know, I'm pretty much with Google. Like I just release on YouTube and I do Podbean sometimes, which I think is part of Google, and I kind of want to continue that. I mean, now they have YouTube Music. It's a new music app.
Hmm.
I've been using that a lot. That's how I listen to music. That's where I'd want to make playlists and stuff like that. And that was actually pretty random. I know we're talking about your arcade and like the music and stuff. It does play in because you do have music sensibilities. I mean, I actually went to so before you were in New Haven, right? You were at this place in Bridgeport,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, there was a version of Third Space in Bridgeport. I was invited to their Christmas party. I went, and it was a $10 ticket. It was so worth it. I mean, I felt so welcome. I had such a great time. There was food. There were yeah, there was yeah. It was really happening. I literally left that night going, that is how I want to be treated in a venue from now on. Like,
Right.
you guys did a great job, and you have a
Thank you.
really cool team behind you, like a group of friends and like people that you've worked with,
Hmm.
teaching in the past, and I got to meet like a bunch of these guys, and they were all just dynamic and interesting, like yourself. I mean, it was really something, man. You
Thank you,
know,
man. I appreciate that. I'm glad we
you had
were able to
this,
make that impression on you. I hope that the folks that do come to our events and come to our venue feel the same way. We try to give that energy to everybody, because that's the type of energy that we try to cultivate and keep in house. While people are here, everybody's feeling welcome and feeling like they belong there. And so often you go places and it's kind of just like everybody's just staring daggers at everybody else, and it's can be uncomfortable, or it just gets clicked up, right? And it's just like
mhm,
group of people, multiple groups of people just in the room, and it's like that's cool and understandable, but this space kind of lends itself to you talking to other people, vibing out with other people. Is why we have the couches for you sit down next to somebody and game with them, and then you chop it up, talk your shit, and then be able to
yeah,
develop even for the evening, a rapport with a stranger over a shared interest that isn't you know alcohol, right? As if you
yeah,
go to a bar,
yeah,
or if you were at an event where you were a vendor yourself and you're trying to interact with people just to also sell your product. Being on both
right,
sides of that, is like very interesting, and I understand the intricacies of both being the customer and being the business. and what I would
Yeah.
like to see from both. So I kind of take this approach all the time of, you know, we always say you want to be customer service friendly, and iterations of my life, I've jobs that I've worked. There, most people I would imagine there's a level of customer service that you have to have. And so I'm like fortunate in the way because I got a leg up in knowing how to talk to people and deal with people and make people feel comfortable just off
Right.
of work that I've done separately in my life.
Right.
So it's very natural. Aside from me being a cool motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You add those two things together, and it's like
I
exactly.
completely agree. Yeah. Speaking of being cool, right? I mean, I really had this question. There's such a like authentic, right, is a keyword right now, like authentic, like be authentic, it's like, and Mike, you are cool. There is no question about that. But in reality, it's like if you're kind of running the show, right? I mean, sometimes you have to really put your own emotions aside, and really kind of focus on the business and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, do you ever like wonder about kind of being authentic, even though technically you have to sort of, you know, get outside of yourself in a way, you know?
It's there's a through line between those two things, and just being yourself is enough. It really is. You know, you'll attract who you attract, and you won't who you don't need to. And that's the great thing about being authentic is it's effortless, and in the long run saves you dividends. If you put on airs of personality that you are not, when you attract the people who are attracted to that personality, you have to now work to maintain that all the time. And I would imagine that it's tiring. You know, rest when you need to rest. Let people know you can't when you can't, and don't overpromise. You know, it's little stuff like that. You know, being authentic isn't any harder than just being regular, decent person. You know,
Yeah,
if you're a cool, goofy person, then be a cool, goofy person. You know,
right,
obviously, read the room. Obviously, you're not going to be a cool, goofy person at a funeral, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like being able to read the room, being able to gauge people, their response to you, their attitudes that they're having, understanding situations as they are, not what you imagine them to be,
wow,
right? And so, like, it can be difficult to, for me personally, it's like not being on all the time. But like I was
yeah,
explaining to my wife the other day, it's nice to be able to go places not in business mode, right? Which
right,
is the mode of a little bit more conversation about specific things with an
right,
intent behind it, even if
right,
it's an innocent one, even if it's a beneficial to the other person, not for myself. Is just to go into a space and not be sizing it up like I could do something over there. Like when we were doing our pop-ups, every place we went to, every bar or brewery we went to,
right,
you know, in between events, it's like we could do something here, we could do something there. Let me talk to the manager versus let me just have some of these people's beer. Let me just
right,
taste what these people offer. I might hate their beer. It wouldn't
right.
matter if I wanted to do an event. If they had people coming in there. I'll come to your beer, your brewery, and drink your shitty beer. I
Yeah.
have luckily Connecticut has been great and has awesome beer throughout. I haven't
No, I
been
mean,
to
yeah,
many places
everybody
and been
knows
like,
that. I mean,
yeah,
that is, I know that's a joke, Mike. I just wanted, like, because, like, you know, of course it's a joke. Like, yeah, the Connecticut beer scene is outrageous. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
definitely worth profiling. I actually
Yeah.
talked to someone that about that. Uh, I literally talked to a friend about that like a few days ago. Just like, for some people, it's like whiskey, wine, and beer, or wine, whiskey, beer, but there are people, it's like beer and then whiskey and then wine, it's like, like some people are really most interested in beer and how it's crafted and what it tastes like and everything like that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so, yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah.
To answer
No,
your
no
question,
worries here.
to answer your question long-windedly, right?
Well, that was a great answer. Sorry,
Right. It's
but go
only
on.
it's only difficult when you're not a real person. When you're putting on a show.
Yeah,
You know, when you're not doing that, then you're just regular tired. I talked to 50 people today. I'm tired. I was myself the entire time. I'm tired. Imagine if
right,
I was pretending to be someone else, how tired I'd be.
right.
Not
Yeah, I
working with
mean,
me.
because we're just trying out like video segments now for the lemon drop sessions,
Mhm.
you know, and And it's like wow, it's me on camera, like what's this
Mhm.
going to be like, like cuz normally I've done acting in the past and I'm playing a role, like I literally have words that I've read off a page that I'm, interpreting or whatever for the scene, and then it was suddenly like it's me and I'm in my hometown basically and I'm like showing people around, and like basically like introducing the audience member, to things around me as myself. I've never done that before, and I was like, how authentic could I possibly be? I've never done this before, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. But very cool, man. I'm actually because we're gonna head out and we're gonna try and get some video. You said we're meeting you at 4, right?
Well, our family hours are like 11 to 4, and I've got some people that are going to be coming by. The evening, like, so I don't know what your timeline's like for the day, and I kind of flubbed my own timeline just a little bit because it's like
Shoot.
we've been talking about this, and then as that's happening, we're still developing our
Stuff.
playbook here,
Things
and
are
so it's like
happening.
we
Yeah.
can overlap a little bit. Like, it'd be better for me if you guys came like for 6, and if that doesn't work for you, we could try another day. But I think
Yeah.
four would be normally when we would now, and I say normally because we just started yesterday. Saturdays we have teen hours from 11 to 4, and then we then,
Saturdays, teen hours, 11 to 4.
then we
Very
open up
cool.
again from 6 to 11, and that's like the adult time. And so in those 2 hours, like my wife and I or my partners and I will go and decompress, like take a break. Middle of the
Yeah.
day, take a lunch, sit down, turn it off for a second, shut everything down,
Yeah.
and then come back for the take 2 hour breather and come back and then have the rest of the night. And so if you were to come at 4, I mean, would you want to stay for a bit? Because if you were going to come at 4 just for the tour and you were going to take off, I could hang out. But if you wanted to hang out for a bit and rock out like I imagine you'd want to, I'd say come at 6.
Then we'll try for 6. Yeah, you make a lot of good points. Totally. I was actually thinking the exact same thing for my stuff,
I
like
usually do. I usually do. Yeah.
the, the 2 hour break.
They keep
Could
telling me to stop being humble. Well, they're like, stop being so humble, Mike. You gotta shine. You gotta tell them. So or whatever.
Mike,
But
you're doing awesome, man. I love the stuff you're saying. I love the back and forth that is going on here. I'm sorry I like totally narrated the last 30 minutes just now, but I'm you're doing awesome, man. Is that
I'm
a wedding
married.
ring?
Will. I'm married. Will, watch out now.
Oh,
You're giving
all
me a
right,
lot of praise.
fine.
Will.
Oh,
You're
you're
giving me
calling me
a lot of.
gay. I get it.
And if you were, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. No, no,
I
man. I
remember
appreciate
that
it.
when people used to call me gay.
Right. Right. When it was the ultimate insult, and I'm just like, what do you mean by that? It's like, do I look nice? Like, what are you trying to say? Like,
It's
no,
almost
man,
like it's getting
whatever.
back to being hilarious somehow. It's just like
Internet will never be defeated. So as long as we got fresh memes coming from the internet, it'll always land. Somebody will find a way to make that shit funny. Everybody's got something, man.
so
But yeah, dude, definitely pull up to me, and we'll host you.
very cool, man. Very cool. Oh man, I had one more
I'm
question.
really interested in to seeing where you're gonna take since you're so gracious with the praise. I'm really interested in seeing where you're able to take your podcast and where you're able to grow from there. Something I intend on speaking more with you about when you come down there. Like I said, we have a spaceman and
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
a community space. And you're if I'm not mistaken, you're like up north, is it?
Uh,
Up north 95, that is, not
like
geographically.
Danbury area,
Oh,
Danbury.
the other way, Danbury. I don't know why
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you
yeah.
were coming from like the New London area or something like that.
I think we actually talked about this, and I'm interested in New London. Like I'm
Mhm.
interested in those areas because I don't get to go to them that often. Like
Yeah,
I
of
don't have a
course. Yeah,
bunch of
relatively
reasons.
speaking. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
hold on. Let me plug you. Hold up. Let me plug you up real quick. They got Beard Brewery in New London, out that way. So if you feel like you don't have a reason to, there's a pretty good
oh,
brewery. Last year we did
beard.
a month worth of pop-ups at BER apostrophe D Beard Brewery. And they got some funky shit, man. They're
Yeah,
dope.
I like them.
Yeah, they're in New
That's
London.
great.
So it's like, and they have 2 campuses. But I know one's in New London. I'm not sure. I
Wow.
forgot where the other one was.
Thanks,
I want
man.
to say
That's
William
great.
and it could be
That
off.
was great.
Yeah,
I love it. Beard. I'm gonna follow up on that actually.
yeah,
So
definitely. Shout out to Beer Brewery. You guys did a good job
absolutely.
by us.
Hey man, thanks for keeping it running with the music and food, like
Yeah.
because like I'm trying to bring in people who aren't like necessarily like just in the lane, but you do a lot of music stuff, I know, right? You host musicians?
I'm like I love music, right? I love it. I'm trying to be more aware of what's happening locally. I try to see like big artists when they come local. Like I saw Erykah Badu when she came to Bridgeport last year, and I fucking
Yeah.
loved that concert. Loved it. That shit was amazing.
But you hosted
Outside
a musician at the Christmas party, right?
I did, yeah. A local guy, shout out to Leapfrog. And
Leapfrog.
yep, Leapfrog Jones. Yep. I'll tag you in some of his stuff. I know he's out there. Him and his buddy Smirk, they were doing their thing, and he was just a guy
Smirk.
who, yeah, Smirk. Yeah, he was a guy who we kind of like we orbited each other through another person, and we are like, hey, come on down, and he just needed a place to practice his guitar. And it's like we're not a studio, but we have four walls and a roof. If you can work with that, then we got you. And so sometimes people just need that little one more, two more steps to kind of get more comfortable with themselves to be able to approach another situation. I just and that was cool to be
Yes.
able to provide for him. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be booking you for a show, or you have to have this many viewers or this many views or whatever. Like
Rad.
fuck that shit. Like everybody
Rad.
needs a place to start or
Oh
just
man,
something.
thank you. Yeah, no,
That's all we could
you know,
do. That's the least we
I've
could
been
do is just provide a space.
I've been getting wrapped up in the views stuff lately because it's like,
Mm,
dude, I want to make more of these things. So it's like, of course I
yeah,
want people to watch it so I can make more
yeah,
of them. It's like,
yeah.
you know, but I hear
Without
that,
having
man.
a gimmick. Yeah, without having to like have a gimmick about it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I get it. I'm also like I'm not a fan of the grind of social media from the small business point of view. I'm really
Sure.
not.
Yeah, of course not.
I can't wait till I'm able to pay someone to take over it to do it like way, way better than I'm able to.
Yeah,
But we are all we got right now, and we're doing what we can with room for improvement. Always room for improvement.
right on, man. I love it. And you're right, there is room for improvement.
Always, yeah.
Um, so I got a question for you, man. Because you brought up D12 and the Whitey
Yeah,
Ford
yeah,
diss and Eminem.
yeah.
I can't believe I didn't see that coming. That's so good.
Yo, it's
But
like
so
rap
I mean,
niggas
really, like,
Slim Shady. Call the cops when they steal your heart. They shocked you back to life at the clinic, but you about to be relapsed and remitted. Homie, we hit them up. Like that randomly jumped into my head, and I'm like, who are they dissing? Whitey Ford. Go find that song. And
and
I'm
then
just
you
like,
went
I
on
used to
Google.
listen to
It's
so much
like,
of like, yeah, so much of that shit. Like I was a big D12 fan, big Eminem fan. So the shit that they put out and that came out. This is back when we were downloading shit off Grokster and Napster
another
and all
guy I
that shit.
talked to in this series was a big D12 fan. That's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, it's like it landed for me the age I was able to like absorb. I listen to some of it now, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But it's like some songs are still like, nah, fuck with it. Like, sorry, like I
Yeah,
fucking
of
love that
course.
song.
Yeah, like
You know?
of course, man. Of course.
Like
So
Purple Pills is always gonna hit. Especially, in my adult life, some of the stuff
Purple
that I
Pills.
got
Oh
into,
yeah.
yeah, Purple
Oh
Pills
yeah,
always,
for sure. There's
you
no doubt about that, man.
they made a drug
So
banger. I like that.
so if you think about Eminem, I mean, his new tracks, like what comes to mind? What do you listen to?
Um, not. I have really haven't listened to much new Eminem. Um, I haven't listened to much old Eminem either.
Hmm,
Um, and it's not even about him specifically. It's kind of just like my musical tastes right now are. I'm enjoying the expansion. Like when Spotify did the 2020 wrap up
expansion of genres.
of genres and sound, right? Because like growing up, I listened to a lot of hip hop, like mainly, and it was always like you can't listen to rock and roll. That's white people music, even though black people created it. But we'll save
Right.
that conversation for another day. And so it was like,
Fair.
and then being young and impressionable and letting people kind of tell you what you should and shouldn't listen to, even though I always liked what I liked. And so as I got older, you kind of shed that nonsense and like kind of delved into the stuff that I did like. So like I picked up Linkin Park when I was in Iraq, and I was 20 years
Wow.
old. I turned 21 there, and I started listening to
Wow.
Linkin Park because of like one song. It was the Terminator. No, I'm sorry, not the Terminator. The Transformer song. What I've done was the theme for that.
Wow.
And so I'm like, that song is dope.
Wow.
That's Linkin Park. And I went and I listened to that album, and I had already gotten like Meteora and Hybrid Theory, and I love those albums.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, damn, these are dope. And then even like as far as like changing up genres completely, like finding time to listen to just instrumentals. Like I'm big on listening to instrumentals because I can just think. Like my thoughts over a beat
Wow.
is
That's
is fun. So
great, man.
a lot of times, like I'll be going to work and I'll have a lot on my mind, and I'll just throw on like Dilla beats, or I'll throw on lo-fi, and
Wow.
I'll just be able to think. Or some of my favorite hip hop songs, just the instrumentals. MF Doom, just the instrumentals. You know, and I'm able to kind of just put my thoughts over the thing without listening to something someone else is saying, and then having thoughts about that or letting that impact my feelings or mood. Kind of just let the melodies and the tune ride out.
Yeah.
So
Right
and
on,
then
man.
even like so shit like French cafe music, like I'll be washing the dishes or cleaning up the house, and I'm like, I
That's
could throw
genius.
on R&B, like I could throw on R&B. That's great. Some old Mary J. Blige, like the how I grew up
Or
listening to
maybe
R&B
just
with
like
my mom
nine
and different
hours of
things.
French cafe music on YouTube.
Maybe not 9 hours, but probably like the time that I'm cleaning the house. You know, if I'm going around
Yeah.
cleaning the house, and it's like, I'll throw on some French cafe music. And one thing I like to do that almost parallels that for visual is I'll watch walking tour videos of different places. So like
Wow.
before wifey and I went to Spain, I watched a bunch of walking tour videos. No words, just someone walking down the street in a place I've never been. And
Wow.
that's real soothing and educational, right?
Wow.
So the same thing with the music, with just like other genres and other cultures, music is like I'm not gonna listen to this while I'm at the gym, but I'm digging in what this vibe is putting down, or listening to flamenco, or listening to jazz, or
Flamenco I've listened to before, but
mhm,
it's been a while and I'd
yeah,
like to try it again.
yeah,
Uh Jazz, it's been a minute as well.
mhm,
I was
yeah.
just talking about jazz.
Even if you start with artists that you've heard of, like you don't gotta go to like some obscure person that you never heard of, but like Miles Davis. Like I listen to Sketches of Spain like regularly, I would say. Not
Wow.
regularly, but enough. Yes, that's a dope album. And it's like, how can you
It's a
quantify
genius
an album?
idea for an album,
Right, right. It's
you
funny.
know.
How do you quantify the dopeness of an album and there's no words? And it's just like it's dramatic, and I forget what I'm doing. I forget that it's on when I'm doing something, and I'm just emotion. Like you know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So it's
Well,
like it's dope, and it's like background music, but it's nice, and it's not the same, you know, thing that's on the radio or what's popular
no,
or
not
whatever.
at all. No.
Not
I mean,
what's popular to young people. It's like I'm just finding I'm enjoying music, different genres of music for different reasons. Like when you hear the playlist for this place, it's out of control. It's out of control.
yeah, right, right, right. So do
you
you
listen
have
to
a record player there or you just have this
no, we
crazy
don't.
sound system?
Yeah, crazy. No, we got one JBL box speaker. The space isn't huge. It's spacious, but it's not huge. And that one speaker provides just the right amount of sound. We're not playing music so loud that we couldn't converse, across the
No,
room
no,
from
I
each other.
know that. I mean, I was there. I saw how you guys did it. I loved it. I loved the music. The
Yeah,
music was
yeah.
great. Well, you
Thank you.
remember I was asking you for the playlist.
Yeah.
I was
I'll share
asking you for I was
when you get here, I'll show you. I'll let you like look through it, and you can see it's like you'll be listening to one song, it'll be Tupac, and then the next thing you know, you're listening to the soundtrack of Desperado,
I really
like
enjoyed it. Yeah.
something random, and then you're like you don't even feel it's not even there's not even a tonal shift. That's what I'm getting at. You can jump genres, and it's still the same vibe in the room, without it being like
Yes.
okay, now I'm listening to
Yeah.
hardcore disco. Okay, now I'm listening to a really slow love ballad. It's like those are two, but I'll throw on some disco, and then the ballad that comes on after that is like, oh shit, damn, I'm
I
still like,
can't wait to see your files, man. I'm genuinely excited for that. That is some premium
curated,
prime
curated,
time right there.
curated. Yeah,
So, I got one more question for you, and this is important, right?
yeah,
We haven't talked about this at all. You have so many games. I mean,
yeah,
it's an arcade in there. You
yep,
have options. You
yes,
have you have comfortable
yep,
chairs
yep.
and different consoles, and
Mhm.
you can literally walk past your friend playing something as you go to play something else.
Right,
Like
right,
I
right.
mean, so what are you playing right now, and what are other people playing that you've noticed?
So I'm playing Dead by Daylight. I've been playing that for a while. I love that game. It's strategic, it's gory, it's fun. It hasn't gotten boring to me yet. And I had been going back and forth between that and Call of Duty. and I kind of just put Call of Duty down because I'm just like the
Yeah.
updates were killing me. It's like I don't got time to be buying a new machine that's just for Call of Duty. Like God bless, you know.
Yeah.
I'll see
Yeah.
somebody one on one, you know, in the room, but
Yeah.
downloading it and playing online, it's like
Because you
nah.
can
It's like
still play the old ones, right?
yeah, I still got the old ones. I'll still jam with them, but like playing person to person. I also downloaded Stray. I just downloaded it on our PlayStation.
Wow.
Wifey loves that game, and Stray's a fun game. Stray is fun. I
Wow.
played it about halfway through the day it dropped, and then I never picked it back up because it's like I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. I'm not 30. I'm in my 30s. Um, I've got work, marriage, a business I'm trying to run.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, my business is playing video games and helping other people enjoy themselves while they play video games. So I
Yeah.
play, but not to the level of being anybody's like streaming goat or anything like that, you
Right.
know.
Well,
But I gotta stay first on the sticks because I can't lose. Like you come through the thing, I can't let you beat me in a game in my own dojo. So
yeah.
Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Marvel versus Capcom, I gotta
I
stay.
actually really enjoyed the game that we played. We played I think it was Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, I'll dust your ass in that, bro. Any day of the week.
Yeah, but I beat you once, I think.
You did, you did. The customers
2 out
gotta
of
win
3.
one. It's like I have to implement so many different
Oh, it
styles.
was on purpose, huh?
No, I gotta implement so many styles. The casino let you win every now and then, so you don't feel like you're getting too ripped off. So, you know, every now and then I'll slip in a one piece. You know, you got one. It's all good.
No, that's good, man. You share hilarious stories on your Instagram about being a gamer in your 30s.
I do.
Um, I love them. I love them.
Cool,
So
man.
if you did have more time, what's the game you would play if you had
Um,
an extra hour?
if I had, oh man, if I could just sit down and play a game, it probably would be between Ghost of Tsushima, and Spider Man. And shame on me because Spider Man is my dude, and I've loved playing all of the Spider Man games from the Activision ones for PlayStation, or wait, take it back. We're talking about Separation Anxiety on Genesis, where you could play as Venom as well, 2D side scroller. Then we got the ones for PlayStation where you're able to stick to the walls and do a little bit more. And then up to the Wii, when you're able to throw the nunchucks in a web sling, which was amazing. And so, you
Oh
know, and then
wow.
when it came to PlayStation, like by the time I got the PlayStation, I played like the ones that came out for the movie, and then I just haven't caught up with it. And it's just like a secret shame of mine that I haven't played the new Spider-Man. So there you go,
Yeah,
everybody. My secret shame is I haven't played the new Spider-Man.
I, I hear you, man.
Whoopsie.
I've
About to die.
literally been watching playthroughs of the new Spider-Man on YouTube just
Yeah.
to imagine what it feels like to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And you know what? And I found myself, you know, it's really funny you say that. On a gaming note, I found myself originally, when people really started doing it, almost scoffing, like, when I watch people play video games, I hate doing that shit in real life. But then it took off, and then I'm like, oh, this is like a gaming magazine tutorial online. And then I didn't mind watching people play, and then I was learning things. And so it's like, if you can learn something from it, it's not stupid. That's
yeah,
kind of
I
how I
mean,
feel. If you can gain anything from it,
yeah,
it's not stupid. And so, like the game that I
yeah.
play all the time, I watch people play it all the time because it's like that's a really cool build to do with that character. I'm gonna try that, or that's a really
Wow.
good technique in this situation. I should try that. You know, that's
Yeah.
we're talking about community and we're talking about gaming community. And I really like
Yeah,
support.
absolutely. Well, it is a community and growing up, video games were getting bigger and bigger and it's not wrong to get one of the thousands of jobs that are in video games or gaming, you know? I mean,
Or like myself,
absolutely, yeah.
kind of just carve out, whoo, carve out your own space and do it that way. Because it's like I love video games, but am I nice enough to be a professional video gamer? Do I have the time enough to dedicate to the grind of doing that? Probably not. So I'll give up that pipe dream. I'm probably also never gonna marry Angelina Jolie. So I'll give up that one too. You know what I'm saying? So
But
it's
and
like,
maybe you're really good at having an arcade lounge, which we desperately need, you know? Like, I mean, seriously, we
yeah,
need these
exactly.
really cool venues. And
Tell them, tell the people they got to hear about it. I'm
so
working
where
on
you've ended up is truly like the best place you could be. Yeah. Long live third space, dude. I'm all for it. Absolutely. We better close it up just so we can start figuring out how to get this episode you're in off the ground. Because we want to do our film segment. We just did test footage filming for in like July 1st. It's July 9th right now. And so you're gonna kind of be our second episode, man, in the lineup. So
Nice.
all right. I'm really looking forward to it, man. It looks like you cut out here. Oh, here you are.
I'm sorry. I didn't know
My
I was
bad.
gonna come on your side. Now because I had a message sitting there burning a hole in my freaking
I
notifications
understand.
bar.
I
So, but it's
understand.
okay.
Well, I actually,
My
I
bad.
was, yeah, I was waiting on a text from the director guy, so I had to glance at my phone too. So no harm, no foul, dude.
Gotcha. Yep.
Look, I'll let you go. People, it's the Lemon Drop Sessions. This was a great episode with Mike Brown. Third Space. There shall be links. There's gonna be all sorts of links. People, you got to check it out. I'm gonna check it out, and I'll report back. So, right on, Mike. And my phone is on, so I'll talk to you soon, man.
Sir, I'll see you later.
See you later.
Peace.